Hey there, welcome back friends. In this video we will try to understand how to make use of Hibernate in adding some information in the database. So this is very interesting. Now definitely if I show you this particular servlet, we have the business logic which help us add information in our disk, in our folder, which is nothing but images folder, which is present inside the C drive, which is cool stuff, no problem in here. Now whenever we are adding a file into the file system, we will also add some information in the database. In order to do that, we would require a DOA. DOA stands for data access object. So let us quickly create a class, and this object will help us to connect with the database and perform task. Alright, so the name would be Hibernate dot data access object, DAO. Let me give the name as files DAO and let me click on finish. Alright, so now we have this class. Now friends, in order to initiate Hibernate, we will create a session factory object. So let me create a session factory object real quick. Now let us give the name of the object as factory and let us initialize this. So we will make use of this constructor by the name of configuration, and we will add couple of more information. For example, .configure, we will provide the name of the configuration file, which is hibernate.cfg.xml. This configuration file is already available inside our src folder. This file we have already created, right? So we have the configuration with me. Let me show you. All the database connectivity stuff is already there in our configuration file. Then we need to also add the annotated class. Now what exactly is this class? This class is based on your entity class. So if I show you, here is the class files.java, right? And this is nothing but our entity class. All right, so it would be like files.class. All right, and now finally let us build the session factory and our work is done. Now using this session factory object, we can connect with the database. Now let us quickly create a public method. The return type would be void, name would be add file details, and we will receive the object of files type. So it would be like files file. All right, and in here we will type in session. Now friends, this session is the database session. It is nothing to do with the user session, so there is a difference. And in here we will make use of this factory object and we will get current session. Now once we get the current session, we can start the transaction, we can begin the transaction. So it would be like session dot begin transaction. Then finally it would be like session dot save, and we will pass on the object file, and then finally we need to also commit the transaction. So it would be like session dot get transaction dot commit. And now finally let us also print some information on the console so that we can understand that everything is working properly. So it would be like file dot get file name, but somehow it is not showing up, and the issue is because we have imported a wrong package. So it would be like our own file, which is from the package org.steadyeasy.hibernate.entity. So now things should work properly. So it would be like get file name, and then we will add a very simple message which would be got added. Alright, so this looks good to me. And now finally we can store the information in the database inside our loop itself. Let me show you the loop. In here, whenever we are selecting multiple files, we are adding the information using this for loop, right? And we are storing the information into this path. Let me do one small little thing. Let me create a variable for path so that it can be consistent throughout our servlet. So it would be like public string path equals this path. Alright, so this looks good to me, and we will concatenate path with name. Alright, so this looks good. And when we are like writing this information, once it is done, we will be adding the information in the database as well. So it would be like new files DAO dot add files detail, and now we need to create a new object of files type, right? So it would be like files, and we will provide the name of the file, which is nothing but inside our name variable. Alright, so this looks good to me. In fact, let me do one small little change. Let me write the file after the information has been added into the database. Alright, so this looks good to me. Now finally, let us quickly try to run this application on the web server. Alright, so the application is up and running, and let us quickly test whether everything is working properly or not. Let us click on upload, and let us also check the console. The Hibernate core is up and running, and there is some kind of exception, and there is this exception because of the typo. Somewhere I have made a typo with the name label. Let me show you. Definitely the typo would be inside our entity class, where we have specified the name of the column. Let me show you. Here we go. So in here I have made a small little mistake. Let me fix this. This would be label, and now let us try to rerun this application. Alright, so the application is again up and running. Let me select couple of files, and let me try to upload these this time. Let me also show you the console. Alright, so in the background, many things are getting executed, and all of these stuff are nothing but from Hibernate. And in fact, we got the message that our information got added on the database. So let us quickly like check Workbench, and let us test whether the application got added in the database or not. And meanwhile, let us also check the images folder. Here we go. So the files got added. I have deleted all the files earlier, so the file got added, which is perfect. And let us also quickly check whether the information got added in the database or not inside this database table file. Here we go. So everything is working perfectly. The 3 files got added in the database. The files got added in our folder images. Everything is perfect. So finally, our Hibernate got integrated with our application. Definitely we will be adding couple of more functionality into our application in our forthcoming videos. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day and take care.